All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So hello everyone, thank you all for joining Holly's end of year presentation. She is a Texas Leadership Scholar, a first year, so she's gonna go do an overview of her first year here at UTSA. We do ask that you allow commentary and questions from me first and some of the staff in the room, and then we'll open it up to you all to ask any questions or offer any commentary to Holly. So with that, Holly, the floor is yours.
Very specific thing to stand. Sorry, just
No, no. You're just gonna need to be by the podium so that you can click to the next slide.
Hi, everyone. I'm Holly, and here's just a look into how my first year at UTSA went. Ah! Wait! Spoilers! Okay, so first, just some quick little background info. I'm majoring in health, aging, and society, and I'm interested in dental hygiene. Okay, and I feel like my interest in dental hygiene kind of drove a lot of the activities that I pursued this year, such as like the orgs I joined and the community service that I did. So here's just a few things that I did this year to involve myself in my new campus. Okay, so the first two things are the organizations that I joined. And I originally was in 3 orgs, but I did drop one of them just because I feel like I wasn't super involved and it just didn't really align with my future goals and stuff. So the first one that I joined is the Pre-Dental Society. And that org is made for undergrads who are interested in pursuing dental school or dental hygiene school. So I just thought that aligned perfect with my career goals. And they offer a lot of like professional development, community service. They have mentors and stuff to help you through the process. And my roommate is in it as well, so I think we're able to help each other a lot. It's a really good community. They're very professional, well-developed. It's a really good structure. So I was able to have a lot of really good chances through them to further myself in the hygiene field. And so those top 3 pictures up there are from pre-dental. The top one is just when we went volunteering, and then the cookies from a social we had, and then the far one is just from one of our general meetings. And then the second one I stuck with is Project Sunshine. So that org is made to help children and hospitals. They volunteer with University Health here in San Antonio. And I didn't get a chance to volunteer with them this semester, but I'm hoping to be able to start that process in the fall, just because the onboarding process can last up to 6 months. So hoping to start that up in the fall. But I was able to do some service events with them and socials and stuff. So those are just pictures from that. So one of the 2 main volunteering things that they have are, it's called Cards for Kids and then Sending Sunshine. So the Cards for Kids, we create cards to send to children in hospitals. So I don't think I have a picture of that yet, but it is coming up. And then we also package up like activity kits for, again, the children in hospitals. So that picture is from one of those events that we had. And so yeah, those are the 2 orgs I stuck with, and I do plan on continuing with those 2 in the fall as well. Oh, and I achieved active membership in the Pre-Dental Society my fall semester, and I'm on track again this semester. Okay, and then another pretty important part to my year I felt like was Brush Rush. This is kind of like a subdivision in the Pre-Dental Society. It's one of the requirements we have to become an active member. We have to attend at least 2 Brush Rush sessions per semester. And the Brush Rush sessions, we go to elementary schools around San Antonio, and we talk about oral health and why it's important to, little children. And my initial interest in this was, of course, for like the point that I needed for to achieve membership, but also I'm really interested in going into pediatric dentistry. So I figured being able to work with kids in some capacity is going to be like good for me to understand if I really do want to work with kids. So the first 2 sessions did not go as planned because there was just a mix-up in us getting to the actual room where our presentation was to be, because me and my roommate, we got there 20 minutes early because we were both like freaking out about being late or whatever. So we got there super early, and there was just a mix-up where we were kind of held in the front office. We weren't able to go to the room on time. So we missed the first session entirely. That was pretty discouraging, but we did get to do the second one, and thankfully the Brush Rush leaders were like very understanding with our situation. But this semester, it actually ended up going a lot better. We made it to both sessions on time and everything. And I've actually signed up for a few more sessions, even though like I have achieved my points, just because it went really well this time. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just keep going with it because, I don't know, just get used to, again, just working with children a little bit more. Okay, and then some community service I did. Most of it was just through the organizations that I joined. So Haven for Hope, like the food bank, and then Texas Starbird Bank, I did those both with the Predental Society. I did those both multiple times. In total, I ended up with a little over 30 hours of volunteering. So those first two were mostly with Predental. And then Setting Sunshine and Cars for Kids, that was with Project Sunshine. And then the Haven for Hope and then Book Buddies was things I did through TLS. And then those are just some pictures from those stuff. The first one is from the TLS Haven for Hope one, where we did like a trunk or treat. And then the farthest two over there, they're from the Cards for Kids event, where we just, like I said, created cards. And then these two over here are from Predental. This is at the food bank and then the driver bank. And then this is one of the Sending Sunshine events that we had. And then my involvement with TLS mostly included like volunteer events. So the Halloween that we had at Haven for Hope, where we dressed up and we just handed out candy to all the kids that came through. And then we did it at an event with Book Buddies in collaboration with the top scholars. So I have a picture from that. And then I did include Newcomb Ranch in this just because I know it was like for all scholars, but it was really fun to see like us TLS people be able to go through that. The first half of the day went really well. Like all the activities were good. I did have some TLS people that were in my group doing like the group bonding activity. The second half was not my favorite. I'm very scared of heights. I think we figured that out from my big fat yell whenever I do zip lining. But I get to say that I did it now. And I feel like that was some pretty good progress because I was definitely not gonna do it. But thankfully I think some friends kind of pushed me into it. And I was like, you know what, let me just get over it so I can at least say that I did it. So that was most of my involvement with TLS this year. Okay, and then some experiences that I feel were pretty important to talk about are just things that kind of impacted me a lot. So the first one was making the Dean's List. I had a 4.0 my first semester. So that was really exciting. It was a really fun thing to share with my parents. It's just a very proud moment because like all my hard work I felt had paid off for that first semester. And then secondly, the brush events. I just thought it was really fun. Like that first time was honestly a pretty bad experience, but going again, I was like, wait, I actually do like this. Like the first one is not gonna like have such a bad impact on me. Like, cause I was letting it kind of get to me where I was like, wow, like that's like kind of my fault, or like, oh, I didn't like it. But I got over that now, so hopefully I'll keep going to those. And then having a roommate. So having a roommate wasn't new to me. I had been sharing a room with my sister for years, but sharing a room with like a stranger was new to me. But I had a really amazing experience. I got to room with Marissa. She's also a TLS scholar, and honestly, perfect match because we're both doing dental hygiene. So we're kind of going through the same processes, same kind of struggles. We're taking the same classes next semester, so that'll be like extra helpful. But no, it was a really, really nice experience so far living with her. She's very kind, open, just very easy to talk to. And she's really motivating because she's like always so on top of her work, and I'm just sitting there with her on. I'm like, oh, fine, I guess I'll get to mine too. But yeah, so it's been a really good experience having her. And then taking my first lab. So this spring semester, I'm in anatomy and physiology lab 1. And it's been difficult, but it's really nice because my professor from my A&P lecture, he had said that it was going to be like a good experience for us to be able to apply what we learn in lecture into our lab. And it honestly has been really, really useful. I like seeing how it all like connects, I guess, like how it connects like in real life. Recently we actually like cut open a brain, and I'm usually pretty squeamish to stuff like that, which makes no sense because I want to go into like oral care. But there's like certain things that I can handle, some things that I couldn't. But I learned that I can handle some stuff like that, like cutting open a brain. Honestly, was not that bad. It was really interesting. So yeah, it's been my experience with the lab. It's been really good so far. And then being a first generation student, that comes with a lot of, I guess you could say, like you would initially think it's a lot of like negatives and like hardships that you would go through. But I've luckily had a really, really good support group through it. Both like when I was first coming into college, my family, and I had some other help. Some other people in my life that were really willing to help me like begin the process of applying and getting in. And then I've had a lot of help with, of course, the TLS program. I've learned that I have a lot of resources, and that being a first generation isn't like something to hold you back. It builds a really good community around you, and it's been able to like propel me a lot more than I thought that I could my first year. And then going to the rec was another fun thing that I wanted to add. It's because I was like fairly active in high school. I played sports and such, but then I like fell off. I like hit my prime at some point. But then I got back to it because I was like, you know what? I need to I need to do something for myself, to not just be focused on my work and stuff. So I started going to workout classes, picked up running a little bit. By no means am I a pro, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. So it's just been like a fun outlet to have. And then the last thing I added was an intramural with the Terry Scholars. It started off with a joke, or what I thought was a joke. When one of the Terrys had asked if I would join, and I was like, oh, sure, but again, I thought it was a joke. Turns out it was not a joke. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I guess I'm already in it, so we'll keep going with that. That was a really funny experience. I'm by no means very good, but it was fun. It was a fun experience. I was kind of there for the numbers, but it was really nice to build relationships with Terry that like I hadn't really met before. So yeah, kind of that wraps up the things that like some main impactful or just fun things this semester or this year. Okay, and then some just like very solely fun stuff. There's kind of a lot here. I'll just kind of go through a list. We went out to eat at quite a couple of places around San Antonio. So we went to 2 Spurs games. I went to some football games here. What else? I have some little pictures with Marissa. That was from our Hispanic Student Association induction. The other one just was crowns at the pre-dental, one of the pre-dental meetings for Halloween. I went to a candlelight concert a couple weeks ago. That was a really, really fun experience. Explore San Antonio, like that's the Japanese tea gardens over there. We visited the Pearl as a group. We had a Friendsgiving as well in the Quad Lounge, and then we also did like a Secret Santa. That's what, you can't really see it, but there's a picture of a gingerbread house there because we decorated them afterwards. We explored downtown a lot. Like I think, that was the day that we went to the Pearl as well. We all went paintballing at some point. That's what this picture over here is from. And yeah, we did some like school events too, like the one on the far end over there in the middle. That's from like the Paseo. We all went as a group together. Okay, that's about it. And then there was 2 other pictures, like that picture of like the cake, and then one up there. I have a boyfriend, and we kind of hung out throughout the year whenever we could. And we actually hit our 1 year while we were in our first year of college. That was an interesting experience, but it's been going really well. So overall, I had a lot of fun with everyone. As you can see, my friend group kind of contained like every group of scholars. It was TLS, Terry's, and Tops. So it's really nice to get to know everyone like that and be able to share some really fun and like core memories with everyone. Okay, and then for the summer, my plans are pretty simple, but I just plan to work. I'm getting up to my 2nd year working at HEB, being a cashier, so I'll be going back to that. And then the main thing that I'm kind of most looking forward to is being able to shadow at dental offices, because I do need to have shadowing hours for if I'm interested in hygiene. So there's already 2 offices that I've contacted for that. One is a general dentist and one is a pediatric, so I'll really get to see if like pediatrics is for me. But I'll be going to a couple of other ones. I have reached out, like I said, to 2, but there are quite a bit around my town that I'll be going to, or that I'll be reaching out to and seeing if they would allow me to shadow their hygienist. But that's about it for my summer plans. And that's it. Thank you guys for coming. And if there's any questions.
So Holly, we don't get to interact a lot, but it's very great to see all the cool things that you are a part of at UTSA. I'm just notating a lot of things, and appreciate the opportunity to see those pictures, right? Because I think that you're very intentional about the relationships that you have. And it's very cool to see you bonding with, not only the TLS students, but also Top and Terry. So kudos to you with that. Also encourage you next year, right? You're going to be an upperclassman, right? You didn't have that, unfortunately, coming into TLS, but you're going to be that for the incoming class. And so really rely on that mentoring. Share some of the great things that you're doing to the underclassmen below you. So kudos to you. Looks like you had a great year, so congrats.
Thank you.
I'll open it up to anyone who wants to say anything or ask any questions.
Yeah.
I have a question. What is something that you're looking forward to the most for next semester?
I think getting more involved in the pre-dent stuff. I don't know if it's like a basic answer, but I reached active membership, right? But they had a lot of things that I feel like I didn't dig into enough. That I think I can really take advantage of next semester, especially because there's a lot of like scholars that are part of pre-dent. So I think I kind of didn't reach out enough. But I am looking forward to being able to delve more into like that professional interest that I have, because there are so many resources that, again, I just didn't tap into enough, but I definitely can next semester.
Anyone else? Anyone online? I know Ashley's online. Not to call her out, but going once, going twice. All right,